Greed. It's a thing that can consume people and turn them into a completely different person. It could turn them fat, it could turn them evil, or it could even kill you. So that's why I was sent here from the heavens to inform you niggas on what greed looks like so you cannot make these same mistakes. And if you're new here, I'll be using characters from different forms of media like movies, TV shows, and video games to further show you what greed really looks like. So y'all know the drill. Sit back, relax, light up the old crack pipe, and get ready for a show. Narrated by yours truly. So let's get it. So for our first example for today, we're going to be jumping into the world of Coco. And the character we're going to be looking at is Ernesto de la Cruz. And this nigga is the definition of making it big and switching up on the homies. So let's get into it. So we first start off the movie and Miguel, the main character, looks up to Ernesto like crazy. He's the whole reason he enjoys music as much as he does. And also at this point in time in the movie, we only know 3 things about Ernesto. 1, Ernesto is dead. 2, he is Miguel's great-great-grandfather. And 3, he was one of the most famous singers ever. So at the moment, he doesn't seem like a bad guy right now. But then Miguel ends up in the land of the dead. And this is where we see a bunch of dead niggas. Mexican Michael Jackson was there, but most importantly, we meet 2 people. Miguel's great-great-grandfather Ernesto and a man named Hector. Because in order for Miguel to get back to the land of the living, he has to get a blessing from a family member. And when Ernesto meets Miguel, he doesn't even know he has a great-great-grandson.
I have a great-great-grandson?
I need your blessing.
Which is kind of weird since most people would know if they have family. But he quickly picks up Miguel and starts showing him off to everybody because he's excited that he has a great-great-grandson. But as soon as Ernesto is about to give Miguel his blessing, Hector shows up. And the reason Hector is so important is it turns out Hector used to be a great musician too, and he was Ernesto's best friend. They were actually in a group together that performed songs all around Mexico. But it turns out that while they were touring, Hector wanted to go see his family and wanted to leave the music shit behind. And this greedy ass nigga Ernesto killed him by poisoning his drink.
But wait, there's more.
And then took Hector's book of songs and started performing them like he wrote them. And because Miguel now knows this, it gets him and Hector captured. So yeah, turns out all the songs Ernesto has been performing are not even his. And Miguel's real great-great-grandpa was Hector. This amount of greed is crazy. You know how greedy you gotta be to kill your day one homie just cause you ain't got no bars? And he didn't even change any of the words or anything.
I be my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
And you would think that after he died, he would be less greedy, right?
No.
Even in death, he just as greedy. Cause just as Miguel is about to get the blessing to go home, Ernesto snatched him up so he couldn't tell the world about what his slimy ass did to Hector. And he literally throws Miguel to his death just to keep his status as a great musician while he's dead. But the karma came instantly, cause turns out they caught his greedy ass in 4K in front of everybody.
This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K?
That ain't me.
So when he came out to perform, all his fans were pissed. And then turns out Miguel got saved by a spirit animal. And that same spirit animal ends up throwing Ernesto into a giant tower. And that was the last we seen of Ernesto de la Cruz. The greed was his downfall. I would say I feel bad for him, but he definitely got what he deserved. But now we're getting into one of the greediest characters of all time.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
Now I probably don't have to tell you how greedy and money hungry this crustacean is. I mean, this nigga will literally break your hands if you try to touch his thermostat. But there's a few times where Mr. Krabs went way too far with his greed, to the point where I have to talk about it. Cause Mr. Krabs is so greedy, he doesn't even care about what happens to anyone else as long as he gets his money. So let me start with the first of his many greedy actions. There was an episode where Mr. Krabs was handing out envelopes for payday. But turns out he was actually giving bills to SpongeBob and Squidward.
Ain't no way, boy, I wanna beat this motherfucking ass, boy. Ain't no.
So let's look at the bill. $1 to breathe, $5 for talking, $10 for standing, $2 for existing, $2 for lollygagging, and $1 for chewing.
He can't keep getting away with it!
Now obviously this is crazy as hell, but notice how the two things that are the most expensive on the list are what they have to do for work. Squidward literally has to talk to customers to take their order, and he does this while standing behind the register. I can't imagine thinking I'm about to get paid and I open my check and it's a bill from my boss of all people. Nah, we running the fade immediately and we having a crab boil afterwards. But trust me, this is light compared to what we got next. So in this episode, SpongeBob ends up finding an old Krabby Patty under the stove. And as you can see, this Krabby Patty looks awful.
Ew! What the fuck?
And like a responsible chef, he takes it to the trash. And when he tries to throw it away, Mr. Krabs has a whole alarm system and a machine that stops him from throwing it away.
What happened?
Is this nigga serious?
And Mr. Krabs did all this to save 5 cents, bruh. And he's serious about saving it too, cause the next day he makes SpongeBob serve it to a customer. And the person he sold it to ended up doing literal somersaults after smelling it. And to be honest, that's the perfect reaction in my opinion. That patty was on the floor and in the garbage. I know that thing smelled terrible. And because of this, the restaurant starts to lose customers and money. And listen to what Mr. Krabs thinks the problem is.
We haven't had a customer in weeks. I wonder if it's the new placemats.
No, nigga, it's that dirty ass, stinky ass, nasty ass burger you're trying to sell. And the burger is just getting nastier by the episode. It's in this whole cage now, and I'm pretty sure this is where the Venom symbiote came from. But Mr. Krabs' greedy ass still doesn't want to be wrong. So he ends up eating the patty. And not even a minute after he ate it, he goes straight to the hospital.
Make sure you wrap up that patty.
Is this nigga serious?
And during his visit, the Flying Dutchman makes a deal with him. If he loses his cheap ways, he can go. And Mr. Krabs agrees. And he's actually being really nice now and not so money hungry. But then he gets the hospital bill and all of that changes. This nigga got billed $10,000. I'm telling y'all, that patty wasn't normal. But once he saw the bill, he went right back to his old ways. He started taking everything away from the customers, and look what he did to this guy. He made him forget everything he just watched on TV. I don't even know how the hell Mr. Krabs did that. But don't worry, we still not finished. Then this fish finds a penny on the ground, and Mr. Krabs is about to demolish this nigga's whole hand just for the penny.
Your luck just ran out.
Hey man, he's back. You're crushing my arm.
Unhand that penny or the arm comes off. Unhand that penny or the arm comes off.
So because of this, the Flying Dutchman pulls up to take his soul, and SpongeBob steps in and bets his own soul. So then the Flying Dutchman makes Mr. Krabs an offer. SpongeBob's soul or some loose change that he had in his pocket. And Mr. Krabs said,
Tell him to bring me my money.
yeah, he sold SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents.
Really, nigga?
We gotta put him in the Hall of Fame for worst bosses ever. This man's greed is off the charts. And there's so many more times where he has been greedy and money hungry, but the worst part about all of his actions is he never learns his lesson. He just keeps being greedy for the rest of his life. But now it's time for a level of greed that you probably didn't think was gonna be in here. And it's a short one, but it's one I gotta get off of my chest, cause I've been holding this in since a teenager. And for this one, we'll be jumping into the world of Call of Duty Zombies. And I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with Call of Duty Zombies. It's basically a survival shooter where up to 4 players can work together online and fight waves of zombies. And we all know the characters. You got Richtofen, Samantha, Weaver. But you want to know the greediest character within this universe? Your own damn teammates. And I don't know if it's just me, but every time I play zombies, I always get a group of people who never want to buy the doors. And if you guys don't know, buying doors is how you progress in this mode. It also lets you reach better guns, power-ups, and safer spots. And it's wild, because are you guys not trying to get better stuff too? Are we not all working here to survive? It's zombies that are literally trying to eat us coming from all sides of the map. And my teammate over there doing a damn money spread by the door that we need to get open. And maybe I take the game too serious, but this is a level of greed that I really can't stand. These niggas will let it get to round 586 in the damn spawn room before they even consider buying a door. And they still not gonna do it.
Yes, sir! This nigga spitting
And then these same players end up getting down and start begging for you to revive them. Man, hell no.
Come on, wait to the no. Come on.
So it usually ends up with me or maybe one other person buying all the doors, and then the greedy niggas who have been saving up their money not buying anything get all the cool stuff and the upgrades, and I'm just sitting there broke as hell looking stupid.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. And you got the power to change that, Kev. Nobody else. You.
So if any of you watching this did this, I want you to take a toothpick, put it under your toenail, and kick the wall as hard as you can. So then maybe you can experience a fraction of the pain that your greed and selfishness caused me and countless other players. But that's enough of that. Time for the last one. Now this one is probably the most tragic, and this little ugly dude right here is Gollum.
Brother, what's that?
But he didn't always look this chopped. He used to look like this. I mean, yeah, he's still ugly, but he definitely better than what I just showed you. And the reason he looked like this is because of greed. So let's get into it. So before his name was Gollum, his name was Smeagol. And Smeagol was already a pretty greedy and mean guy before any of this happened. So Smeagol and his cousin were celebrating his birthday by fishing. But during that, the fish ended up pulling his cousin overboard. But when his cousin was in the water, he found a ring. And when Smeagol saw the ring, it was love at first sight.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. That change is hard, bro. I ain't gonna care.
He knew he wanted it and wasn't gonna be stopped. So he ends up literally killing his cousin over the ring. So we already onto some greedy shit, and we just started.
You look at a nigga shit and just want it.
So he ends up getting banished by his people, and he has to live in a cave. And while he's living in this cave, his body slowly transforms into Gollum. And when I say transform, I don't mean he got taller or he got a haircut. This nigga Smeagol ended up losing his hair, his eyes became huge, his teeth fell out, and his skin turned gray. And you would think that all this change would make him not want the ring, right?
No.
He still keeps it on him and cherishes it. This couldn't have been me. I don't care how greedy I am or what type of powers that ring had. As soon as I see I'm looking like this, I'm leaving that ring immediately. And if you're wondering what he ate while he was in the cave, he ate fish. But not any fish, raw fish. And now that I say this, that's another thing that would have made me put the ring down. If my body all of a sudden was able to digest and process raw fish, I would have to let the ring go. This story is also a really great metaphor for drugs as well. The ring is really like crack, and Smeagol is the crackhead.
Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me!
But this is also when Gollum's mind became split into basically two different halves. One side hated the ring and what it turned him into, but the other half was greedy and wanted the ring forever, even if it meant he had to look ugly as hell in the process. So fast forward a little bit, a man named Bilbo Baggins ended up finding the ring because Gollum had lost it. And once Gollum found out that Bilbo had the ring, he was pissed. He tried to chase him down, but Bilbo was gone. He basically snatched Gollum's chain and was never found. So Gollum eventually left the mountains and went to locate Bilbo and the ring, but he was never able to. Instead, he got captured multiple times. But he managed to escape every time. But there was one time that he ended up running into the Fellowship of the Ring, which, if you don't know, is a group that sole purpose was to escort the ring to a place called Mordor so that it could be destroyed. And so Gollum hears this and he's like,
Finally!
So he ends up following them without them knowing. But then once the group is split up, Gollum sneak attacks Frodo, who currently has the ring. But this doesn't end up good for Gollum, because they end up putting this nigga on a leash and making him help them on the journey to Mordor.
Many unbearable moments later.
So they finally make it to Mordor, and this is where Gollum's greed takes over. He ends up betraying them and leading them to a giant spider cave for them to be eaten. But Frodo and Sam manage to escape the lair and make it to the spot where they're going to destroy the ring at.
After all that,
Gollum's greedy ass is still following them. So now it's time to destroy the ring, but Frodo can't destroy it. So he ends up claiming it for himself and puts it on his own finger. And because of this, he went invisible. But then Gollum attacked them. He knocked out Sam with a rock. Then Gollum's crackhead ass tracked Frodo's footprints until he could jump on his shoulders, and then he ends up biting off Frodo's finger with the ring still on it. So now Gollum has the ring. But sadly for him, he loses his balance and falls into the lava, destroying himself and the ring. I'm telling y'all, Gollum is a certified greedy crackhead. You know how dedicated you gotta be to travel across the world for years just for a damn ring? And while he was already a greedy person before the ring definitely made his greed increase like crazy, which sadly ended up turning him ugly as hell and ended up killing him. But yeah, that concludes today's Yap session. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all really enjoyed this one. And hopefully y'all aren't too greedy, because y'all don't want to end up like Gollum did, even though I know a few of y'all already look like him. But yeah, I'm tired of talking to y'all niggas. Cue my outro music.
You got me